supporting you in your dog parenting journey. The Dynamic Dog Owner with Debbie Potter.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of The Dynamic Dog Owner, the podcast designed to support you, the dog parent, in your dog parenting journey. If you're a regular listener, you'll know we talk about supporting the human and the sort of concepts of training and lifestyle choices and like practical advice rather than actual training. Today, kind of breaking the mold slightly, and I'm going to merge the two together. Usually all of our actual training content is on our Pawcademy, which is our online training platform where we have hundreds of videos designed to help you learn to teach your dog new things. And the podcast is about supporting you. But today I'm going to merge those two things together because this topic is going to involve a little bit of both, really. And obviously, depending on when you're listening to this, if you're listening to it when it first comes out, supposedly it's British summertime. We've had our weather and today it's raining. So we had a little bit of sunshine. It went. But I'm sure there'll be more to come. But it's the time of year when naturally we want to spend more time outside with our dog. And that naturally brings up some issues because then we want to take them places and then they don't always know how to behave in those places, and then we don't want to take them so it gets a little bit confusing, a little bit like conflicting. You want to take them out but you don't want to take them out because they don't behave, and you do take them out but you still want to teach them how to do it. How do we bridge that gap? So generally, I mean, this came about from someone asking me about, it's summer, I want to take my dog to the pub, I want to take them to the cafe, but they don't behave. And this is such a common topic that we work on, really, really common, that people want to take their dog to cafes and pubs, but they can't, and they don't know how to overcome it. So firstly, I thought I would talk about the topic in general, and then obviously we are going to probably touch on a little bit of training as well, so that's fine. So I suppose the big thing is, firstly, does your dog actually want to come to the pub or cafe with us? Who's it for? And I always ask this question because does your dog really need to go to a pub or cafe just because it's summer? I know it's nice, and I know it's convenient, and I know it's a nice thing to do, but I think we always have to kind of look at it and go, does my dog really want to do this? Is it enhancing their life, or is it enhancing my life? And therefore, is it actually a necessity? Is it actually, I mean, don't get me wrong, everybody wants it. Everybody wants the dream dog who curls up in a ball under the table whilst you enjoy a pint, a hot chocolate, full 3-course dinner, whatever it may be. Everybody wants that. But let's ask ourselves the actual question of, is it for you or is it for your dog? And I think 99.9% of us will agree it's for our benefit, not our dogs. Our dogs don't gain anything from it. They benefit from the walk before or the walk after. But I do get it, it's convenient, and it's nice in the summer to be able to end a walk or stop in a cafe mid-walk. So it is a skill we want to learn, but we have to just check, A, our expectations are there, and B, are we setting our dogs up for failure? Is our dog actually going to benefit? So for example, if your dog is nervous, reactive, stressed, easily anxious, are they actually going to enjoy it? And is it worth just going, if we don't ever achieve this, does it really matter as long as my dog's happy? Worth asking the question. But let's assume you all do want it anyway. We're going to talk it through. Now, obviously, we've got different types of cafes and pubs. We've got dog friendly, dog accommodating, and actual, there's a difference, isn't there? Some people say we accept dogs, but they don't really want the dogs there. And you've got others that have like a full dog menu, and the dogs don't only, they aren't just welcome. They have beer options. They have prosecco. They have actual like dog sausages on the menu. Dog roast dinner. It happens. There are places that will offer a full dog roast dinner. So I think that firstly gives you an idea of like where to go. Pick somewhere that's, in a way, pick somewhere that's dog friendly, but you want to initially, when you're teaching your dog how to do this, pick somewhere that's not overpopulated with dogs. So where there's maybe one or two or just one dog in the environment, because doing it on their own and doing it with hundreds of other dogs there, two different things. Because they need to learn how to do the skill before we put the distraction of other dogs there, because then naturally they're like, hey, there's other dogs, let's play. And my advice is always practice when you don't need it. You know, we always, I think it's like a human thing. We just want to jump in 2 feet and do, whereas we need to step it back sometimes and go, right, how do I prepare for this? And one of the easiest ways to do it is to practice just stopping on a walk. How many times on your walk do you stop and just stand and do nothing, or sit on a park bench and do nothing for a few minutes? Because if your dog can't do that, they're not going to be able to go to the pub and the cafe with you, because you're going to be sat for longer than a minute. You're going to be sat for 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes. So you need to, again, set realistic expectation. If your dog's never been to a pub, don't take them to Sunday lunch with your family. Practice. And this does mean you get to go to the pub or the cafe all the time in the name of dog training, which is amazing, right? But yeah, again, we need to practice. We need to practice, 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 because as with anything, you can't do it unless you practice. So every time you see a park bench, stop, sit on the bench and relax for a few minutes. If they can do it, cool, we can step up to the next level. We've talked about it like way back when on the podcast, how I like to level things and have like level 1 to level 10. It's a bit like a computer game. You can't jump in at level 10 if you've never done level 1, because you need all the skills in level 1 to use to gain up the levels. So in the first level, you learn, how to make it jump, how to make the character. I don't really play computer games, but I used to when I was a kid. How to make it jump, how to do each maneuver, and then how to do that maneuver, and then you can do the harder ones in the next level. So you need the level 1 behavior. So that's level 1: stopping on a park bench, chilling sitting there and relaxing. When they can sit on a park bench and just instantly switch off and wait with you for a few minutes, 5 minutes, then cool, I'm ready for level 2. And then you could go to the pub when the pub is shut. Sit outside on a park bench or picnic bench if they've got picnic benches out the front, and practice sitting in this location. Pick a time that's quiet. Do it when it's quiet, because you can't go on a Friday night when it's absolutely heaving and expect them to do it with all the distractions. We build it up and build it up and build it up. We might have half a pint, then a full pint. You might have a pint and chips. It takes time and it takes skill to build up. We can't just expect them to do it straight away. Sometimes with a teeny tiny puppy you can. Like, it's really, really common. Teeny tiny puppies just go, I'll just sleep anywhere. And you give them a Kong or you give them a chew and they sleep in the corner, easy. But when adolescence kicks, that's when they start to find it really hard, because they're like, I'm not designed to sit and do nothing now. I'm bored. I want to do stuff. And that's when their emotions tend to kick in. So it tends to go out the window and we have to rebuild the skill up. And it's something one of my dogs has always struggled with. And I am that person. Do I need him to do it? No. Would I like him to do it? Yes. Because to me, there is nothing better than going for a lovely walk, ending with a pub lunch, or having a pub stop midway and then carrying on walking. And this year I finally cracked it. I finally worked out what he needed to be able to do it. And it's ridiculous, but he's a very sensory dog. He's autistic. I'm 99.9% sure I know he's autistic. And he has to have things in particular routines, and he has to have pressure. Pressure helps him relax. So at home he wears a jacket, as like a deep pressure comfort, like a bit like a weighted blanket for a human. But the thing when he's really stressed is if I take hold of it and just hold it, like tighten it around, it sounds awful, but I don't know a better way to describe it. I hold it a little bit tighter so it has more pressure around him, and he goes, big deep breath, and then he settles down instantly. It's weird. And I suddenly went, there's me trying to teach him, chill out, we get up, chill out, we get up, chill out, you get a treat. It doesn't work for him because he's too clever. And then he goes, well, I'm waiting here for a treat then. When's it coming? When's it coming? And he gets hypervigilant, waiting for the treat. So that doesn't work. That's why I would not try that method. I've tried it with him, doesn't work. We've tried we stop for 30 seconds, we get up before you're stressed. But again, that's taken a really long time. I learned on a holiday, I went away with my husband in January time. And I suddenly went, I wonder if that would work. And I held onto his jacket because he had a neck fleece on. I held onto it and he was like, oh. And he just chilled and waited. And I was like, oh my God, this is working. Amazing. And we had 2 pints. Most we've ever had in a pub with him. The next day, he didn't have his equity on. I thought, I wonder if it'll work with his harness. I just slipped my finger inside his harness, slipped my hand in. So he had that pressure and felt my touch because he knows to touch me. He needs to be near me. And he was like, I can do this. It's like, Jesus Christ, should we have some chips? For the first time ever, he's 7. we had 2 pints and chips in the pub because it's taken him that long. Or should I say, it's not taken him that long, it's taken me that long to work out what he needs to be able to succeed in doing it. Huge moment. And I'm like, yes, let's do this now. Let's do it. Let's take him to the cafes, let's take him to the pubs, because I've worked out how I can help him learn to do it. It's never going to be easy for him. Is it for his benefit? Absolutely not. I mean, it is, because he needs to learn to chill out in public. He has no off switch. He gets very excited. He's like, well, you're out with me, let's do stuff. So it is for his benefit to learn to switch off. But does it need to be in a pub? Absolutely not. For my benefit, I would like it to be in a pub or a cafe. But we're building up to it. I would love to take him out like I used to when he was a puppy and him just chill out under the table. But it's going to take us a while to get there. It's totally for my benefit. It's totally for my benefit. But I'm sure there's a small benefit for him too. But it's something that we can keep working on, And it tends to be that we always think about it in summer because the sun comes out and then we all rush to the pub or we all want to go out and about. Winter is the time to start practicing. So if this summer you're listening to going, oh, this is me and my dog, yeah, we can't do it, hate this, we're terrible at it. It kind of ties in a little bit to, the podcast previous to this one, or a couple previous, about advocating for your dog. That if they're reactive, etc., you've got different things to consider. You've got to work on reactivity separately to then be able to transfer it to a pub, except all of that, and sometimes having support. We have a real world training club, Lead and Learn, that we go on once a fortnight, and I'm not going to lie, majority of the weeks there's a cafe involved. I would say at least 50-60%, because it's a big life skill that people need. So I know this time or the next time we're going to the pub, and our training session is in the pub, practicing chilling out at a pub garden. Now, no one minds going because we're in a group, safety in numbers. We don't feel as awkward as we would if we were on our own. But we tend to need it in the summer and then we forget about it. A bit like fireworks season. We all suddenly go, it's firework next week, better start doing some desensitization. We actually need to be doing it all year round. And practicing in the pub is an all year round thing. So if you're listening going, oh my God, she said I can go to the pub every day. Totally, you can go to a pub or a cafe every day in the name of training, even throughout winter, because we need to build the skill up. And it takes a really long time. So even when the summer's over, keep going to the pub, even if it is just half a pint sat outside, building up the skill ready for next summer so that you can enjoy pubs and cafe trips with your dog. And again, if this isn't important to you, don't worry about it. But most people want to be able to do this with their dog. Maybe not all the time, but again, we want to do it maybe we're on holiday. Summertime and on holiday. When you're on holiday, of course you want to pop out for a bite to eat. Oh, but the dog, we better go to Tesco's and get some sandwiches instead. So we tend to want it in the moment, but forget that we need to train for it and prepare for it. So this is your reminder to start practicing this skill now, ready for when you need it. And of course, you get to go to the pub a lot. I don't know if it's useful or not, but check out your local dog-friendly pubs, because they will generally be there to help and support you, and not mind you being there and not mind you practicing. And if anything, they get to know you and your dog, which is a really nice thing. Really nice that you can then go somewhere and feel welcome, and know that you're working on and being comfortable with it. But again, it's where you might have to advocate and say, please give my table a wide berth, or sit in the corner where they're not in the thick of things. It's a really tough skill. It's something we take for granted. They can sit under the table at home, so why can't they sit out at the table at the pub? There's so much more going on. There's other people, there's other dogs, there's stuff happening, there's food, so many distractions. It's a really, really tough skill. So get practicing now. Hopefully it's useful. If this isn't, let me know. If there's anything you want me to talk about on the podcast, because obviously I just talk about what comes into my head or what questions I get asked. If there's anything you go, I would love her to talk about this, please let me know, because I'll add it to the list. And obviously I want the podcast to be as useful for you as possible. Have a lovely week, and I'll catch up with you soon. Hope you enjoyed listening.
If you love listening to the podcast, why not check out the Pawcademy for practical dog training advice and how-to videos. The hub is broken down into sections, and hundreds of pre-recorded videos are there for you to start watching whenever you choose. You can watch them back as many times as you like. You also get to talk to other community members and discuss your training, and benefit from live Q&As with myself, where you can get your questions answered. why not make use of our 3-day free trial where you can access all of the content on the Hub absolutely free for 3 days. The link is in the description below, so do check that out. And I can't wait to see you in the Hub.
Thank you for listening to The Dynamic Dog Owner with me, Debbie Potter. See you next time.